Madrid app. A lackluster 0-0 draw at Leganés dropped Atletico Madrid to third place in the Spanish league on Saturday. The result came 3 days after Atletico's first loss of the season, to Chelsea in the Champions League. This time it avoided defeat thanks to a great performance by goalkeeper Jan Oblak, who made great saves against Leganés. Sevilla moved into second place, 2 points behind Barcelona, by defeating Malaga 20 at home. Barcelona and Real Madrid play on Sunday. Leganés, in its second season in the first division, remained seventh after its third straight game without a loss. It has conceded only 3 goals, and it threatened the most at Butarque Stadium, forcing Oblak to make 3 difficult saves in the second half, including one in the final minutes. Atletico's main chance was a header by Diego Godin that was brilliantly saved by Leganés goalkeeper Ivan Cuellar midway through the second half. Atletico was unable to take control of the game, even after coach Diego Simeone tried to shake things up by changing formation. At one point he replaced forward Antoine Griezmann with defender Shima Visalco, and moved more players to the midfield to try to create more chances. Sevilla defeated Malaga 20 with goals 2 minutes apart in the second half. Ever Banega converted a 68th-minute penalty kick and Luis Muriel quickly added to the lead to give Sevilla its 4th win in the last 5 matches in all competitions. Banega opened the scoring after Joaquin Correa was fouled inside the area to prompt the penalty kick, and Muriel scored after a run from near midfield following a mistake by the Malaga defense. "We dominated the entire game, we just had to find a way to score," Muriel said. It was Malaga's 6th loss in 7 league matches, dropping it to last place in the 20-team standings with 1 point. "We were playing our best when we conceded the goals," Malaga defender Miguel Torres said. "Unfortunately we made some mistakes. We have to apologize to the fans. It's been a tough start to the season." Alaves finally earned its first win at Levante 20 thanks to Munir El Haddadi's goal in the first half and Alvaro Medran's in the second. Alaves lost its previous 6 matches, scoring only once. It was a surprising start for the team which last season finished in the top half of the standings and made it to the Copa del Rey final. Levante, back in the first division after being relegated a season ago, stayed 9th. Amiens, France app. 4 Lille supporters were seriously injured and taken to hospital after a barrier collapsed during the side's football match at Amiens on Saturday. SOM prefect Philippe Demester said the life is not in danger as he confirmed the injury toll had risen to 25. "We are thinking strongly and primarily of our supporters," Lille CEO Marc Ingler wrote in a series of tweets. "Lille has the right to examine the security conditions offered to our supporters by Amiens in its stadium. Lille hopes that those responsible for this accident are swiftly identified, for the club's supporters and the victims, and so that this never happens again." Faux Ballator had just struck the opening score of the French League match in the 15th minute when he ran over to a section of Lille fans behind the goal to celebrate. As fans surged forward, the fence collapsed under their weight. Fans tumbled onto the pitch and the match was immediately halted. Most were able to get back into the stand, but several remained on the ground and were treated for injuries. After more than half an hour the match was abandoned. Amiens Stade de la Licorne is being refurbished, but Demester insisted the painting and roofing work had nothing to do with the collapse. He added there was a security inspection of the venue before the game. Football should be a celebration, and the police had warned us that 200 very worked-up ultras were in the stand reserved for Lille fans, Amiens president Bernard Joanny said. And they threw themselves in a disorderly fashion, more than 500 people, onto this barrier which was in a perfect state. Imagine 500 people trying to get on the pitch. The league officials need to strongly think about travelling fans. Ingler reacted strongly to Joanna's apparent attempt to blame Lille's supporters. The Amiens president's comments appear irresponsible and disgraceful in this dramatic context, he tweeted. "Our supporters are irreproachable and professional football demands the best organisation. We hope that the French League identifies those responsible." A pair of Premier League big boys take on a pair of sides only just promoted from the Championship over the summer, while Everton host Burnley in the other of Sunday's 3-place fixtures. More place roundup. Man City win at Chelsea. Kane gets 2 more. Arsenal vs Brighton Hove Albion, 7 a.m. ET, on NBCSN and NBCSports.com. Away in Belarus for Europa League action on Thursday, back home in the place on Sunday. That's the not-so-simple reality for Arsenal this season, and it rears its ugly head again this week. The Gunners' victory over Bate Borisov will have come less than 72 hours prior to taking on Chris Hughton's Brighton on Sunday. Further complicating matters, last week's 20 win over West Bromwich Albion came on Monday, less than 72 hours prior to their 1,400-mile European excursion. As such, the majority of Arsene Wenger's first-choice starters were left in London, but the likes of Shkodran Mustafi and Per Mertesacker could be asked to pull double duty given injury concerns along the three-man back line. Brighton, meanwhile, will be without star striker Tomer Hemd, who on Wednesday was handed a three-match ban for his stamp on DeAndre Yedlin last weekend. Hemd maintains he did not intend the contact with Yedlin. "I accept the decision against me but do not agree with it and I am devastated to miss 3 matches," Hemd wrote on his Instagram account. "I would never go out and injure a fellow professional on purpose, and those of my friends and teammates who know me, know that this is not in my nature." Injuries: Arsenal, out Mesut Ozil knee, Danny Welbeck groin, Santi Cazorla Achilles, Francis Coquelin hamstring questionable, Laurent Koscielny Achilles, Alex Iwobi thigh. Brighton, out Tomer Hemd suspension, Steve Sidwell back, Sam Baldock calf, Berham Kyle leg questionable, Glenn Murray ankle. Everton vs Burnley, 9:15 a.m. ET, on NBCSN and NBCSports.com. Things are beginning to look up for Everton, maybe just a tad, as Ronald Koeman's side is unbeaten in its last 3 games all competitions, with a winnable home date with Burnley on Sunday. While the likes of Wayne Rooney, Davy Klaassen and Jiffy Sigurdsson have largely faltered of late, just 2 place goals between them, both Rooney's, and 0 assists, Oumar Niasse has stepped into the void and lent the Toffees 3 goals en route to a pair of wins last week, over Sunderland League Cup and Bournemouth Place. As for the Clarets, Sean Dyche's side is 4 games unbeaten in place play, 3 draws and up to 9th in the league table. Sunday's clash at Goodison Park will be the first meeting between Burnley's current players and former teammate Michael Keane, now at Everton, provided HES passed fit to play. "We all got on with Keano. He's a great lad," midfielder Jeff Hendrick said. He's been brilliant for the club here. It was his time to step on and challenge himself in a different way. He's still young and HES still improving. We all speak highly of him here and I'm sure they do at Everton as well. It will be good to play against him. He's a good player but we want to get one over on him." Injuries: Everton, out Ross Barkley back, Ramiro Funes Mori knee, Seamus Coleman leg, James McCarthy knee, Yannick Bolasie knee questionable, Michael Keane foot. Burnley, out Tom Heaton shoulder, Nackley Wells ankle, Jonathan Walters knee, Dean Marney knee. Newcastle United vs Liverpool, 11:30 a.m. ET, on NBCSN and NBCSports.com. Rafa Benitez guided Liverpool to UEFA Champions League glory in 2005, a short dozen years ago now, and on Sunday welcomes his former club, and the many by whom HES still so beloved, to St. James Park. "He's a very, very interesting person," Jurgen Klopp said on Friday. "I know HES still connected, not only because he lives around here still, HES really connected to the club still, wishes the club all the best and all that stuff. It's how it should be after this fantastic time he had here." The visitors enter Sunday's game in frustratingly indifferent form, having won just 1 of the last 5 games all competitions. During that stretch, the Reds have conceded 13 goals. Klopp is yet to figure out the perfect formula for consistent defending in the place, as that very shakiness at the back ultimately ended Liverpool's title bid last season. Klopp writes a bit of that off as bad luck. "We in this moment are not the luckiest team in world football, so it's not that things go easy for us," he said this week. "We did enough and we had 4 or 5 100% chances and that's then disappointing, but it is like it is." Injuries: Newcastle, out Paul Dummett hamstring. Liverpool, out Adam Lallana thigh, Nathaniel Klein hamstring. Follow it: Andy MLS Antonio Conte's current Chelsea team has dropped 8 points through 7 games of the 201,718 Premier League season. Conte's title-winning side of 201,617 dropped 21 all of last season 38 games. More place roundup: Man City win at Chelsea. Kane gets 2 more. Saturday's home defeat at the hands of Manchester City, one of 2 place title favourites this season, was the latest setback as the Blues fell to 4th in the league table, a point behind Tottenham Hotspur and 6 off the pace of Man City and Manchester United. Speaking in his post-game television interviews, Conte seemed quite comfortable and pleased with his team's performances, claiming the only difference between the sides on the day was a bit of clinical finishing. Quotes from the BBC: "It was a tough game, but we know very well that Manchester City are a big team and it's very difficult to play this type of game. I think that we gave everything today and I am happy with the commitment and desire from all my players. They had the will to fight against a very strong team. In this type of game you need time to recover. If you are tired it is not simple to go box to box. Today we created chances but we didn't take them. Manchester City had chances and they took them." More Guardiola praises outstanding De Bruyne as for the injury that forced star striker Alvaro Morata from the game in the 35th minute, and left Chelsea just about helpless in building their attack. Conte hinted that the Spaniards' withdrawal was largely cautionary. Quotes from the BBC: "When you lose this type of player it is not simple. When you play 3 massive games in only 7 games you must consider this. It can happen, a muscular problem, but I do not think it is serious. Alvaro stopped before it became a serious injury." Follow it and MLS: When Pep Guardiola was announced as the incoming manager of Manchester City, pie in the sky expectations were immediately thrust upon the Spaniard, as if he were some kind of miracle worker. Season number 1 in the Premier League didn't go quite as many had hoped, but Guardiola was prepared for some early struggles, perhaps even expecting them. Season No. 2 has started at breakneck speed. More place roundup: Man City win at Chelsea. Kane gets 2 more. There's no two ways about it. The 201,718 edition of Man City is already quite special, still with plenty of room to grow, and this season's title race should be equally special, assuming Manchester United and/or Chelsea and/or Tottenham Hotspur can keep pace with Guardiola's men. Speaking in his post-game television interviews following City's 10-win away to Chelsea, which puts them back atop the league table, Guardiola held back very little in praising the performance of his entire team, while singling out one very special Belgian playmaker in particular. Quotes from the BBC: "It is important to win, and especially with the way we played. In the first half we didn't find the right position, but in the second we were better. A big congratulations for the victory. Chelsea want to play and they are so dangerous in attack, but we kept the ball and when they had it we pressed as high as possible. We had control in the second half. We adjusted our possession and the way we attacked. They could not play and had to do long balls. Kevin De Bruyne was outstanding. He makes absolutely everything. He is good in small spaces. He is humble and clever. He has speed and fight and can attack through the channel. He can play in 4 of 5 positions, so we are lucky." More Conte updates: Morata's injury, bemoans lack of luck. As for De Bruyne, he says the entire team is already reaping the rewards of a refocused mentality, courtesy of the former Barcelona and Bayern Munich manager. Quotes from the BBC: "I feel very happy. We produced a good performance. We knew it would be tactically very difficult. They are one of the best teams on the counter-attack. The way we played was very positive. We had a little bit of a plan not to get caught by Eden and Willian because they are dangerous. That's why we played like a 343 and we managed to do it very well. The spirit is very good. I think it was after a game in pre-season that Pep said we need to get the mentality to hate to lose. This year we try to do that and win the points in the big games. It can change very quickly, but we had a good spell in September and try to do the same when we come back after the international break." Follow it and MLS.